Yo.
We're back with Back to the Future.
Aha, I see what you did there.
Yeah. And before we start, we just want to say, we don't care what you have to say. You have to say what that clown peek out of the storm drain outside has to say. Wait, what?
I don't know.
But yeah, Back to the Future is one of the greatest movie trilogies ever.
Definitely. You know, it's always been one of my favorite movies, Back to the Future. It's about time we talked about it. We've already covered, like, Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles and the Terminator and Star Wars. Maybe next to Indiana Jones, but... Yeah,
I never liked Indiana Jones.
Really?
I just found his movies boring.
Well, teach their own.
Right.
Yeah, Back to the Future is awesome. Yeah, and as you know, I have kind of a problem with time travel. It gives me a huge headache. So unless it's Terminator or Star Trek or Back to the Future, being the exceptions, time travel usually pisses me off. But in these movies, it's done pretty well.
If you go back in time, you mess with something out. You don't mess with the time you came from. It just shoots off into a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no such thing.
If you look at it that way, yeah, kind of like a parallel universe type thing. Because the thing is that Marty McFly really went back in time.
You're not going to destroy all reality.
Right, yeah, paradox, like Doc Brown is always worried about.
Because, like, if that was true, it would have happened when Doc ran to himself in the second movie.
Yeah.
Nope, nothing happened.
Well, technically if Marty McFly went back in time to 1955 and stopped his parents from getting together, he would have never been born. So if he was never born, he could have never went back in time to bring his parents to be together. So he would be born, so he'd go back in time to bring his parents to be together, so that he wouldn't have been born, and so on and so on. It just ends an endless loop, a headache.
Why do I smell copper?
Yeah, exactly. It makes my my brain on fire.
He goes back in time, changes his future, but then the Marty from that timeline goes back in time, so either he'll re-jump the timeline to when they're not rich, or he ends up becoming a werewolf.
Teen Wolf.
But, okay, another thing I was wondering about, how does just punching Biff once change him completely?
I know, it made him into a pussy. Like, he was like this hardcore badass bully, and then he gets punched in the face, and oh, yes, Mr. McFly, you know. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's more to it than that. Yeah,
but in the second movie, right after that, he's still the same. He hasn't. If anything, it's made him even more unstable and angry.
Yeah, pretty much. He probably still holds a grudge about it.
Yeah. Another thing I was wondering about...
I'm trying to invent a flux capacitor from a light bulb, and, like, it's not working, because I want to go back in time and change a few things.
Okay.
So, there we go. Fuck! Yeah, I just want to get more light in here. It's way too freaking dark.
Now you look like that albino from Skin. Good job.
Yeah, now we can actually see the damn movie case.
Yep.
So yeah, obviously the original movie is by far the best. With this simple storyline, it's Marty McFly, played by Michael J. Fox, accidentally traveling back in time in a DeLorean time machine invented by Doc Brown, played by Christopher Lloyd, and he meets his parents when they were teenagers in high school. With George McFly, played by Crispin Glover, and Lorraine Baines, played by Leah Thompson. All the while, he's trying to get back to the future so he can get back with his girlfriend, Jennifer, played by Claudia Wells in the first movie, then by Elizabeth Shue in the sequels. I don't know, they recasted her because I think she quit acting after the first film.
But originally Michael J. Fox wasn't supposed to be Marty.
Eric Stoltz.
Yeah. Then they changed it because they thought Michael J. Fox is smaller. There'd be a better contrast between him and Biff, who's just really fucking big.
And him and Christopher Lloyd, too. Christopher Lloyd towers over Fox. They actually filmed a few scenes with Eric Stoltz, too. I've seen a few comparisons, like the scene where he meets his dad in the diner, and then he's confronted by Biff. They actually,
it worked better because,
Stoltz, I mean...
It worked better because, Crispin Glover and Michael J. Fox kind of do look alike a little bit, so it's that makes sense.
Kind of, sort of. What doesn't make sense, though, is, like after the first movie, all his descendants and all his, ancestors all look like either him or his mom. Even the McFlys. Why would his great-great-great-grandmother or whatever she was on his dad's side look like his mom? Played by Leah Thompson. That makes no sense.
I guess to save money.
Yeah,
Hiring people.
I guess.
Another thing I was wondering, though, Okay, so he comes back to a different timeline, but he has the same girlfriend, but everything else is different.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like their family's a little more wealthy. His brother has a good job. His uncle's not in jail, even though like what did that have to do with anything? And then his mom's like thinner and still looks pretty young, and his dad's not like a total dweeb. He's actually a successful science fiction author. I don't understand. How come the dad never says, our son Marty kind of looks like that Calvin Klein guy that we knew back in high school for like a few days?
Yeah, they did film a scene where like he's on the porch saying,
Really?
"It's not, but it is," and they cut it.
Aww.
Yeah.
What I understand about Back to the Future Part 2 is, like, it's a good movie. This is definitely, like, the most convoluted out of them. It has, like, the most going on. Marty they go to the future, him and Doc go to the future to prevent something happening to his son, who looks exactly like him, and his daughter, Marlene McFly, who also looks exactly like him. It's just Michael J. Fox dressed in drag. How frightening is that? And so, they try to change the future, and they do, but what happens is he purchases a sports almanac, and it's stolen, but the older version of Biff Tannen...
Why did he have to buy it? Why couldn't he just flip through it and say, oh yeah, here's
or
this?
write it down or something. But an older Biff steals a DeLorean, goes back in time, gives the almanac to his younger self, then he becomes rich and successful in 1985. And then, I was on board with moving to that, but then they had to go back to the exact same day in 1955. It's like, with time travel, you have endless possibilities. It could have been back to ancient Egypt or ancient Rome or the dinosaur age, or more into the future with, all the futuristic flying cars and, space stuff going on. But no, they went back to the exact same day in 1955. The exact same day he went back. It's just like, really? All the possibilities and you do the same thing again. I love the scenes in the future, but when it goes back to 1955, it just becomes repetitive and monotonous and just kind of bland.
And
but
somehow...
I still love this movie.
Yeah. And somehow this movie predicted the Cubs winning the World Series.
Did it really?
Uh-huh. Because they won the World Series.
Right.
Yeah.
And also accurately predicted hoverboards and flying cars and dustless, or what was it? Oh yeah, they were showing the book covers and the jackets in the antique store, the Dustbuster, and there was a Jaws video game and stuff in the antique store in the future, and self-lacing shoelaces, self-tying shoelaces, self-drying jackets. So yeah, all that stuff happened in 2015.
And for some reason, people walk around with their pockets hanging out of their pants.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, for real. I guess there were so many bad styles in the 80s, they figured, oh, well, in 2015, by then the styles would get even worse, but, they didn't.
No. Speak for yourself.
Anyways,
one of the things that bothered me about the third movie, the
one in the Old West.
Yeah, no, not that. Okay, Doc shows up at the end with the train. Okay, so apparently it's been years.
Yeah, because they have two sons.
Which one?
Jules and Vern.
One of them likes to point his dick.
Yeah, I can't believe nobody noticed that, when they were filming.
Anyways, yeah, nobody knows that guy with his dick out in Teen Wolf either.
Yeah, true. Yeah, a lot of Michael J. Fox movies have something with a guy's dick somewhere.
No, he doesn't just point, he goes like...
Yeah.
Why?
That is hilarious. Wow, that kid's my hero.
I know, right? I don't think, why do all of Biff's ancestors look exactly like him?
Yeah, same with all Marty's, too, except for his dad.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Griff, and then a Buford Mad Dog Tannen in Part 3. Part 3 is my least favorite. Obviously. I think it's cool they went to the Old West, but I don't know. There's so many possibilities. So many things could have been explored, and I don't know. I feel like it was kind of a lot of wasted, missed opportunities.
I do like how Telltale Games took Back to the Future and went from after the third movie to where Marty goes back in time to the 30s where Doc's been arrested.
Yeah.
And then finally going back to the future, and Hill Valley's a police state, and it's...
I think somebody edited all the cutscenes together and called it Back to the Future 4.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like two movies.
Why don't they just make an animated Back to the Future 4? Just have all the voices, have Michael J. Fox and, and Christopher Lloyd and Thompson.
The guy they brought in for Marty McFly did a really good job.
Yeah.
I had to actually go...
Fox?
No. But Michael J. Fox was in the game as another ancestor.
Why didn't he just do Marty then?
You know what's weird? You know what's weird though?
Makes no sense.
Marty's Marty's like
Maybe before the
maybe
video's over, I'll figure out the
great-grandfather.
lighting.
Anyway, oh yeah, like his ancestor in the 30s looks like his dad, but that guy's dad looks like Marty.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and then somehow
He's-
they all looked like Marty. Then they looked like Crispin Glover, and then they looked like Michael J. Fox again.
That's stupid.
Like his son looks exactly like him. It looks identical. It was
Yeah.
like it's like, are him and Jennifer like related? Is there like an incestuous thing going on here?
I don't know.
And not to mention the fact that his great grandmother looks like Leah Thompson, his mom. Looks just like Lorraine.
Another question: how does Nails have a high-profile job like that, looking like he does?
Yeah, and he was like a punk rocker, like in the '80s or whatever.
Yeah, and he still got the tattoos on his face and that
Weird haircut. Yeah, that was Flea, by the way. That was Flea for Chili Peppers.
Oh yeah, That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, but like you jump 30 years in the future, he still looks like that, but he's wearing a suit.
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
up with that?
It's hilarious. And the Principal Strickland or whatever, never ages like at all. He looks the same in 1955 as he does in 1985. Damn, this cursed lighting.
Crispin Glover hasn't aged
There we
at
go,
all.
that's good enough. Yeah, no, he still looks exactly the same. And his father, Bruce Glover, who was in Diamonds Are Forever, is one of the James Bond villain henchmen. He still looks like kind of looks the same too. I mean, he's aged, but like he's aged pretty well considering.
Yeah.
Must be some kind of Glover family secret. Yeah, Christopher Glover, they couldn't get him back for Back to the Future 2, so they got another actor, and then they used like stock footage of him. And I think he sued the filmmakers and won.
Yeah. Another thing I noticed, like when Biff is chasing Marty in his car, it cuts to Marty in front, but when it cuts back to the inside of the car, it's not Biff standing there. It's like somebody else driving the car.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
It's like fucking crazy. Great editing. Back to the Future.
That's the power of love.
It's just so weird how all this stuff shows up in these movies and we get them now.
Yeah,
What's
I
up
know.
with that? We got a pretty shitty hoverboard. It's like it doesn't really work unless there's like a specific kind of thing for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, what's the point of that?
Hoverboards don't work on water
No.
unless you got a pit bull.
Why couldn't we get one of those?
I know, right?
It's like
Then Marty invents rock and roll by playing Chuck Berry's Johnny Be Good
I just
with
noticed
the
something.
dance.
Okay, so
I think
I
you
can
did skate
compare
once,
this.
too.
Oh, sorry. Alright, so Forrest Gump inspires all this stuff for black people, but Marty goes back in time and steals it all.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's up with that?
Here's a fun fact. The Back to the Future NES game sucks.
I only had the part 3 and I didn't get past the first level.
Well,
Because I didn't know what to do.
part 2 and 3, I guess it's just one video game. It's called Back to the Future 2 and 3 is a lot better, but it's still crap.
No, literally, it doesn't explain anything. It just drops you in. You're like, what do I do?
Pretty much. You know what this means?
What?
It means that this damn thing doesn't work at all!
Fuck! Stop it! Ow! Like, now I'm seeing spots. Thank a lot for that.
Oh, wait.
What?
Put a lampshade on it. There we go.
Lampshade.
That didn't work either.
That was a lampshade? I thought it was a bulb.
Nope.
No.
It's a lampshade now.
Okay. How long have we been talking?
Going on 14 minutes.
Well, I think we covered everything.
Just about. I mean, you can talk about these movies for hours. There's like so much to talk about.
Yeah. What we need to do is, we need to, get another camera and record us while we watch the movies.
Yeah, provide commentary on it.
I know, right?
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it for Back to the Future.
Oh, this is heavy. They really should have made a part 4. Christopher Lloyd always wanted them to make another movie.
We got a
with
cartoon
Ancient
show. What
Rome.
else do you want?
Yeah, but that wasn't that good.
For some reason, they brought it back onto Fox TV in 2004.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
For a month, and it was gone.
Lame.
It's like,
Oh, I finally figured out the lighting right when we're about to wrap it up. Great.
in case any of you are wondering, yes, in 2017, the gravity is stronger than it was in 1985.
Sorry about blinding you, too. It's not too late. They can still make a part 4.
We got that little short cartoon from College Humor, So I guess that's...
Yeah. Yeah, where they go to the real 2015. He's like, oh boy, we're going to have hoverboards and flying cars.
Yeah, but then he never goes and explains anything.
Yeah.
He just says, no, we can't do that, or do that, or do that.
Well, another inaccuracy is that Michael Jackson was shown to be alive still in 2015. He was like working at that weird cafe, that futuristic cafe. That was weird.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it's time we wrap it up.
Yep. I think we about covered everything. Who was a hotter Jennifer, Claudia Wells or Elizabeth Shue?
I'd have to see them naked side by side to tell.
It was always kind of distracting for me because I thought that Elizabeth...
To be honest, though, I never actually noticed the difference.
Really? I think they look very...
Well, when you're little, you don't really pay attention to that,
when you compare the end of Back to the Future 1 to the end of Back to the Future... I mean, to the beginning of Back to the Future 2, you know, they were seeing that they had to refilm because it was a different Jennifer. Like, they're almost identical, except for, like, a few things, like when Marty says, what are we, assholes in the future? Doc thinks about it for a minute in the beginning of Back to the Future 2. He was like, just to think about it. It's hilarious. But yeah, I always thought that, like, Elizabeth Shue and Leah Thompson looked way too similar. But that does explain a lot. Like, that all his kids look the same. Well, I don't know. His girlfriend Jennifer looks a lot like his mom. Maybe that's it. Maybe the McFlys always date a woman that looks the same. That's why his great-grandmother looked just like his mom. Great-great-grandmother, whatever the hell she was. Some kind of ancestor.
I got another question I'm thinking about. Like, his dad's floating around upside down all the time on that fucking jetpack thing, and he hasn't passed out.
Yeah,
blood rushing
I know. What was that? They only did that to hide that it wasn't Crispin Glover and it was a different actor.
I didn't notice that either.
Yeah, well, you couldn't really tell under all the makeup. And he definitely mimicked him, though. He tried to, like, act out his goofy, awkward, quirky mannerisms. Yeah, Glover's a bit of a weirdo.
And for some reason, in the future, well, in the present, they eat astronaut food where everything's, like, dehydrated. You gotta add water to it.
Yeah, then they put that tiny little pizza in the oven. It was like, took like a second, like a fraction of a second, and then it was done. It was like a full pizza. They didn't invent that already. Like, come on. Just like, don't forget the flying cars and hoverboards. Invent something like that. That's the actor the actor plays Biff. His name like Michael Wilson or something.
Tom Wilson.
Something Wilson. Has he ever like really done anything else besides the Back to the Future trilogy?
He did a song about all the
notable?
questions that people ask him.
Back to the Future 4? No. Yeah, those are good.
If any, he's actually the only one other than Christopher Lloyd that's come back to do more stuff for Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Like, he was in the cartoon, like, almost every episode.
Christopher Lloyd's always loved the series. Like, he always, like, that's probably his most well-known role, along with Judge Doom and Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Uncle Fester.
You know what would have been funny? If they go into the past again and he's like, "Sex made you do it, Marty!" From, I forget what other movie that was from, though. Where, like, he gets murdered, and then they bring him back, he's just a head. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What was it called? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been funny. But, yeah, Christopher Lloyd's done, like, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he has.
But
yeah, he's been in so many movies. He was hilarious in Taxi, too, you know, the TV show. That was probably what he's best known for, like, before Back to the Future. Great Scott!
I kind of wish that, Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox would get together and do, like, a live version of the Doc and Marty short that Justin Roiland did. You gotta lick my balls, Marty. Get the spit on there real good so we can go Back to the Future.
Jeepers Creepers.
It would have been great.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. They have great chemistry together. I'd love to see them, like, in more stuff.
Yeah.
God bless, old Michael J. Fox. Bless his heart.
Yeah. He can't do calligraphy anymore. Did you see him when he was in Zorro? Look, he made his mark on the wall.
Yeah, Family Guy.
Okay, I think we're getting off topic again.
Yeah.
Alright.
If you haven't checked these movies out, definitely see them. Come highly recommend.
And if you haven't seen them already, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, you've been living under a rock or something. And avoid the NES games, like a disease-ridden horror.
Play the Telltale game. It's very good. You got anything else to say? Are you just running it up to 20 minutes?
I don't know. And we're out of time. Alright, that's enough.
Alright. See you later.
Hellhound.
I'm Spellbinder.
Thank you for watching Dead Level Discussions.
We're going back to the future.
That's right. We're going to go back in time and stop ourselves from ever creating this show in the first place.
I know, right?
Later.
See you.